Airlines do their best to keep you and your family safe, but when something actually does go wrong and the plane goes down, all anyone can do is scream. Number 11. An Instagram user named Saya May records the most extreme case of turbulence I have ever seen, and it sounds just as bad as it looks, if not worse. I mean, the aircraft sounds more like a high-powered laundry machine than anything that's meant to carry people. The shaking is so bad that one of the upright trays is about to become unlatched and fall down. If I was flying and I saw anything like this, I would seriously question if I was going to touch down alive. This video was posted while Saya May was still in the air, and you can see friends and family fretting over his situation and wishing him luck. Everyone made it out of the turbulence okay, but after all of that rattling around, I really hope the plane was properly serviced before flying again. Number 10. A man from Sri Lanka incites panic in the sky when he announces that he is going to take himself out, along with everyone else on the plane. The pilot makes an emergency landing in Melbourne, Australia, where a special police unit boards the flight. It looks like they are going to grab this man's ankles to forcibly remove him, but they reach past him to retrieve a mysterious black bag left behind by the person responsible, who has already been taken into custody. The man was threatening everyone with a device, which later turns out to be nothing more than a large Bluetooth speaker. The man was eventually taken to a mental health facility. It's worth mentioning that this was the same Malaysia airline that had a plane go missing over the Ukraine years ago, so they really were not taking any chances this time. Number 9. A plane is returning to the Boston Logan International Airport from the Arabic city of Dubai when these full hazmat workers storm the cabin upon landing. Notice how they keep their arms in close, away from the seats. These passengers were coughing loud enough to trigger suspicions of Ebola. As this brief video clip shows, nothing else looks outwardly wrong with them. They are able to stand, walk, and talk on their own. I'm surprised they were reported in the first place. Everyone on board was immediately quarantined and tested. In the end, nobody had Ebola after all, but it's still terrifying to think that such a virus is even around in the first place. This video underscores how all it would take is one mistake for not just Ebola, but any virus to spread globally. Number 8. Most of the passengers have on headsets and are watching a mid-flight movie, but one of them sees a reoccurring image and takes out their phone. This brief clip is the final instance of what they saw. Floating up from one of the seats is a formless mist that briefly swirls into the shape of a twisted face and disappears. All airlines are smoke-free nowadays, but I suppose that could be another possibility. Number 7. A boy records the scenic view outside of his window, as passengers often do. When he looks up to record an oncoming plane, he accidentally picks up a fast-moving disc-like object traveling in the opposite direction. Looking at it frame by frame, the small flat rectangle is abnormal and does not change shape or gain detail as it moves across the screen. It's definitely not wildlife, and it's too small to be a drone, not to mention up way too high. So what could it be, aside from the possible UFO? Others have pointed out that the trail left behind by the other plane looks odd as well. I think it looks like normal vapor trails created by engine exhaust, but I could be wrong. Does it look suspicious to you? And do you think these two events, the UFO and the other plane, could somehow be related? Number 6. An airplane enthusiast and YouTuber named John Graff is recording this commercial jetliner flying over Los Angeles when a second, much larger aircraft cuts in front of it and then promptly disappears. His friend standing next to him says it was easily as big as a fighter jet, but it doesn't make a sound, which should be impossible. Listen to this part taken at the 43-second mark. You can hear one plane but not the other.
Oh, that was nice. Anybody see that?
What I find weird about this video is that John Graff continues to focus on the first plane. You would think that he would immediately follow the other one, but I guess this is a minor point. And other than that, it looks fairly real. Number 5. This video was taken from a waiting station at the Islamabad International Airport in Pakistan. Any strings attached to this chair would be easy to see on the bright and reflective cement floor, but I don't see any, and the chair slides across the room without anyone in sight. It looks like it might be getting pulled by someone off camera here at the 33-second mark, but then it does a 360 all of its own somehow. So that theory is pretty much debunked. There's also no way for magnets to work from beneath a solid concrete floor, so I have no idea how this was done. Number 4. A YouTuber named Victor Poulin suspects that something is wrong with this plane, and I need your help to come to a reasonable conclusion. The plane looks completely normal until approximately 1 minute and 50 seconds into the video, when a bright red tint forms along the edges seen here. The change in color could be from the way the sun hits the aircraft, but that still doesn't explain how the plane seems to break up into multiple parts. Then again, maybe it's just his unsteady camera.
Now see how it almost looks like it changed shape? There's lights all in different places.
Victor Poulin is convinced that the plane is some kind of holograph, but I think it's pretty unlikely because I've never heard of anything like that before. Still, what do you think the real explanation is? Or do you think his assumption is correct? Number 3. A YouTuber named Shnen Sarmi is excited to travel to California, but far less enthusiastic about her flight, specifically her window, which is not sitting in place and makes this unsettling noise.
Going through the window and I didn't tell anyone.
By the time she lands, the first of the 2 layers of glass has slid down enough to poke her finger through. It looks like she is sticking her hand out of the plane, but she actually isn't. There is one more layer of glass that is hard to see, but still, the thickness of the window is now halved. She notices something was wrong with her window during the flight, but did not tell anyone until the very end, not wanting to cause a panic. I see where she is coming from, and she might have just been too shy and scared to speak up, but I personally think she should have said something because they might have needed to make an emergency landing to fix it. She was trying to keep everyone calm by not telling, but looking at the condition of the window, I think it could have put everyone's lives in danger, but above all else, I'm just glad that she and everyone else was okay. Number 2. This airport CCTV video shows the moments leading up to a bizarre, vicious, and spontaneous incident at an airport in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, that gained national attention in 2015. Richard White walks up to a security checkpoint line with a bag, one hand already wrapped around the object inside. As he slowly ducks beneath the rope without much grace, the 63-year-old doesn't look like anyone who is particularly dangerous, certainly not like someone you would need to keep an eye on. Here you can see him approach from the top center and attempt to blind a TSA officer using a simple can of bug spray. The officer reels back in surprise, and that's when Richard pulls out his blade. I see a boy in red shorts who manages to evade his wrath by putting a table between them and fleeing to safety. Richard sprays another officer, and as he stumbles through the metal detector, you can see a maniacal grin on his face at 31 seconds, clearly enjoying the carnage he's causing. I cannot show you what happens next, but these stretchers should tell you the aftermath. Richard White's troubled mind, perhaps for the first time in all of his years, was finally put to rest. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and if you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. I recently released the number 15 mixtape, but I don't think you should follow these instructions to check it out. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person, so if you're generous enough to hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. Also, don't forget I upload a new video here on YouTube every Thursday and Saturday. Number 1. A YouTuber named Air Force Proud 95 is about to touch down at an airport in Summit County But then for some reason the plane goes back up instead. It circles around the landing strip a couple more times, and everyone is wondering out loud what's going on. The pilot makes an announcement that is over a minute long, but really the beginning and the end of it is all I need to hear.
So don't want to alarm you, but prepare yourself for a possible rough landing.
There is a problem with the landing gear, and not all of the wheels are touching down properly. Soon a steward comes out and tells the first row to grab their ankles to brace for impact. Behind his professionalism is a creeping panic as he delivers what could be his final words.
Grab your ankles. The rest of you guys will cross your arms like this, and you'll put your head on your arms like this against the seat back in front of you.
2 minutes later, they prepare to slide across the tarmac nose first, but thankfully the wheels hold out long enough to land in one piece. By the end of it all, the plane was in such rough shape that they didn't dare pull it up to the airport, instead escorting the passengers out immediately instead. There's more on TikTok than just people dancing, and these TikToks will really freak you out.